Okay, so yesterday we have discussed the basics of that dynamic logic, plus we have discussed an example, that is dynamic latch. Okay, so now already we have discussed some brief discussion about the charge storage and charge leakage. So again I'm starting that thing, then I'll do a I'll solve a example that is in Kang book. Okay, if you have solved it's okay, otherwise I'll solve that, and at least you'll get the idea, okay, how it is working. It's why the clock speed is required. Okay, so hold time, that critical hold time, all these things will calculate from that example. Okay, so we'll start from that charge storage and charge leakage. Okay, so this is the charge storage. You know the circuit. Suppose this is NMOS. This is your soft node, that is Vx. Okay, so this is the parasitic capacitance Cp or Cx, you can say, and this is connected to another circuit. So it's maybe some NMOS or PMOS, whatever this. Suppose it's a NMOS. Okay, so ground, and this is connected to somewhere. We don't need where it is connected. Okay, this is NMOS, and this is also a NMOS. So this is your V in, and this is your gate voltage, and that is, you can say, is clock. Okay, so this V in, suppose this V in, maybe it's like that, data. Okay, so this is the data. When this clock is equal to 1, so this data will transfer. Think about this. Suppose this 1 is transfer, means VDD. Okay, this is clock 1 means it's VDD. Okay, so this is 1 means this is VDD. When clock is equal to 1 and data also 1, so this VDD will transfer. This will charge to VDD minus VTN. Okay, so this is threshold voltage VTN. Okay, so this one, and when this is 0 and clock also 0. Okay, clock also 0 and this also 0, then this point will be 0 and this point is VDD minus VTN. Now this node will discharge through this pass transistor. Okay, so that is that charge leakage. So here no charge leakage in this side. Okay, there is no current flow in this side because it's a gate of the transistor. So the current will flow or charge will discharge through this path. Okay, so this I leakage. Okay, so this is called I leakage. I leakage. So this I leakage, already we said that this is two part. One is I subthreshold plus I what, that reverse bias leakage. Okay, okay, so these two parts, I subthreshold and leakage. So if you see the cross sectional view of a transistor, so you can see, so this is your source, this is your drain. Okay, so this part is nothing but a gate. So this is oxide. Okay, so now this is your drain. So this is N plus, this is P, N plus. So this drain is connected nothing but, suppose this is, forget about this. So this part is connected to the capacitor. Okay, Cp. Okay, and this point is nothing but Vx. Okay, and this is your source. Now it is connected to ground. Ground and gate also. I said clock is equal to 0 means it is connected also ground, or you can say it's low voltage. So now you can see this voltage is Vx. So this is VDD minus VTN. So now the current will flow. This is one path. This is called I subthreshold, and this is another path. Okay, this is called I reverse. Okay, so this is I sub threshold and I leakage. Okay, and this already we have said that for short channel device, this I sub threshold is dominant. Okay, it's major part of this two leakage. But long channel device, this part, this I sub threshold is minimum, and this part is as usual. Okay, and this I, okay, so this means you can see this leakage again depends upon this voltage also. Okay, and this capacitance also. Okay, so now you can see here the equivalent circuit of this device. So you can these two currents and this device, you can draw a equivalent circuit. Like suppose this current, you can draw a current. So suppose this is I sub threshold. Okay, so here though it's N plus and it's P, there is a reverse bias. Okay, reverse bias junction here. So depletion region will be there. Okay, so it's a diode, reverse bias diode, and this is cathode and this is anode. So you can draw a diode here. Okay, and due to that, this is one plate, this is another plate. Okay, this is insulation type. Okay, so one capacitance will be there. Okay, that is called C junction capacitance. Okay, so and here this is your parasitic capacitance, CP, and this point is nothing but Vx. Okay, so this is total I leakage. This is I leakage, and this part. Okay, so here is your I reverse, and this is your I surface. So this is from here to here, the same thing I have in the physical domain or device I have drawn. Then the equivalent circuit of this physical device is not this. Okay, so now here you can see here this capacitance CJ. Already in our device class, you know, this is a voltage dependent or constant capacitance. CJ.
Voltage dependent.
Yes. So it's a voltage dependent. Okay. So this CJ will depend upon this voltage Vx. If Vx will be high, okay, what happened? That means the reverse bias. Here this voltage will be high, means this is already ground. Okay, this is ground. The bulk is ground. If this voltage will increase, then reverse bias, this depletion region. Okay, this depletion region will increase. Okay, so though it's a capacitance, so you know capacitance, if the depletion region will be increased, then what happen? The capacitance will decrease or increase? CJ.
Increase.
No, if this depletion region increases, capacitance
decrease.
Yeah.
Decrease.
So epsilon A by D, same things. So distance will increase means the capacitance will decrease. Okay, so that's why if this voltage will increase, okay, this reverse bias voltage will increase, this capacitance will decrease. Okay, so why it is important? Because finally this total parasitic capacitances. Okay, so total parasitic capacitance is nothing but the combination of this and whatever the other capacitances. Okay, that's oxide capacity. Okay, so this total, this and this is actually not CP. This is, you can say, C in. C in means that oxide capacitances. This is called CP, total capacitance. This is C in plus CJ. That means junction capacitance, that here drain to ball, CDB. This capacitance is CDB, that CJ nothing but CDB, and plus this capacitance is means that what are the other capacitances? You know that yes,
CGD.
other capacitance, that's metal, poly, and some next stage capacitances. Okay, these capacitances, these capacitances, CGS or CGB, we can say. Okay, so that's why this CP is nothing but this reverse bias capacitances plus these capacitances. Okay, so that's why I said let's see C in. So this is the combination of two. So why it is important? Because if the voltage, this voltage will increase or decrease, this capacitance will increase or decrease. If this capacitance will increase or decrease, then the time it will store the value, means that holding time will increase or decrease. Yes or no? Because finally, so this will discharge through this path. If this capacitance will be less, then in less time it will discharge. If this capacitance will be more, then it will take more time to discharge all these charges. Okay, so that's why this is important, and this is depends upon this value. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, so you can derive these things. So I leakage. So total that Q, that Cp is stored in the Q charge. So I leakage is nothing but dq by so dt. Okay. So here the dq, q is two parts. So one is that qj, junction charges that. Okay. So that is again depends on that dx. Okay. So dt plus dq in by dt. So this Q stored in that other capacitances, that C, I said that CGV, CGS like that. Okay. So again here you can write dqj by dv into dv. So it's vx. Okay. dt. So like that. So you can write in this way plus dq in, okay, by dt. So in this way you can write, and you also here you can write dq in is equal to c in dv by dx. You can dv by dt you can write. Okay, or you can write dqj by dvx actually into dvx. Okay, so by dt. So this qj is vx. So dt plus, okay, q is cv, you know, that c in and dv by dvx by dt. Okay, here, so this is your I leakage. Okay, so you can see this will, the dvx dvx will cancel, and this will be there. So finally you can see here, you know, dqj by dvx. Okay, so it is nothing but a capacitance Cj. Okay, depends upon Vx. Okay, your Cj is nothing but Q by V. That junction means reverse bias voltage due to the reverse bias voltage. Okay, again from the device equation already you have studied in your basic diode reverse bias junction, that this can be, this Cj can be expressed in this way, that is some constant, suppose a Cj0 by, this is 1 plus Vx by your built-in potential. Okay, built-in potential means suppose your diode is there. Okay, this is P, this is N. Okay, you are giving a reverse bias voltage. Okay, so there is a depletion region. Okay, so depletion, but in normal case, what is the depletion? What is the built-in potential? So that built-in potential means that cut-in voltage, so around 0.7 volts in diode. Okay, so that voltage is nothing but that you can say it's phi 0 or whatever. It's at 0, it's bias voltage. What is that voltage? Built-in voltage. Okay, so this root over. Okay, so this now you can see if this voltage will increase. Okay, so this part will increase, and this will decrease. Okay, and you know this, you can derive this thing is nothing but KT by Q. So KT by Q ln your Na Nd by Ni square. So this Ni, so this is Na, dumping concentration of P and dumping concentration of Nd, and this is the intrinsic characteristic, intrinsic concentration of the semiconductor. Okay, so from this formula you can find out this phi 0. So for a diode, for any PN junction, so it's around 0.7 volt. Okay, so here in this case, suppose this is your device. So this is your drain, this is your ball. Okay, N plus and P. So depends upon this this concentration. So you'll find this value. Okay, so in this way, so you can calculate that Cj, and Cj is minimum when this Vx is maximum. So that is the limit point. If this is maximum, this reverse bias voltage is maximum, that means that whatever we are calculating, VDD minus VTM, that is the maximum voltage at that Vx node. Okay, so at that point, what is the capacitance value? Okay, so that is the minimum capacitance. That means finally, when this is Cp, Cp is nothing but Cn plus suppose Cj. Okay, so this is constant. So if this value will be decreased, okay, so what is the minimum value? So minimum value will come at when this value will be maximum. So at that point, what is the capacitance and how much time it will store the charge? Okay, or discharge the capacitance fully in how much time? Okay, if this value will be more, then it will take more time to charge and more time to discharge. If this value is less, then it will take less time to discharge. So that means your holding time, okay, holding time will be less. If this capacitance value will be less, then holding time will be less. Okay, so that value you have to calculate. What is the minimum holding time? Okay, so you understand these things, why this value, this Cj is important.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next, so your total capacitance. Now you can calculate your total capacitance at that point. Suppose Cp or Cx mean. Minimum, we are calculating minimum because that is the limit. Means the minimum holding time will be depends upon this Cx mean. If Cx max, that will be better. So not a problem. But what is the Cx mean? That is important. Okay. So for that, minimum holding time will be calculated. So Cx mean is nothing but what are the CGB? So that is that next is get to bulk or get to source. Okay. Plus your C poly. Poly means suppose this is the transistor and this is again another transistor. So this part, because this is gate, so this can be poly or metal. So that's poly plus C metal. So poly means, you know, suppose there is a metal or poly. Suppose this is metal. So metal to substrate. So that capacitance, or poly to substrate, that capacitance is C poly and C metal plus CdB minimum. CdB is nothing but your Cj minimum. Okay, so this is the final capacitance, minimum capacitance. Okay, now from this we can calculate the T hold. T hold is nothing but how much time it will retain on that maximum element on that data. Okay, so that is your delta Q crit. You can say delta Q minimum by your I leakage maximum. So this is your T hold. Okay, so this delta Q, what is that delta Q? So this delta Q is nothing but your Cx minimum divided by V max minus VDD by 2. Why VDD by 2? Because if you drive the next stage, at least the value should be greater than or equal to VDD by 2. Okay. Suppose this is your circuit. So you are driving a, suppose inverter. You are driving an inverter. Okay. Already we have discussed that things. So 2 inverters are there. Okay. So this point will drive the inverter. So inverter means it's 1 PMOS, 1 NMOS. Okay. So here, this is suppose VDD. This is ground. So these values should not be less than VDD by 2. Yes or no? Means if you are sending VDD, so these values should be greater than VDD by 2, so that VDD will pass. Yes or no? Means here, if it will be VDD by more than VDD by 2, then you will get that 0 here. Are you getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at least this value means should be in means middle of that supply voltage. Okay. If the this voltage is less than that, then means functional means functional it's incorrect. It's incorrect. Yes. So that's why. So the critical delta Q. Okay. Delta Q is nothing but from V maximum from this point V maximum to VD by 2. What is the charge? So that time, up to that time, it will hold that value, that high value. So after that, it will change. Okay, that output will change. So that's why that Q, that del Q is nothing but so Cx minimum V max minus VDD by 2. Okay. So now from this you can calculate T hold. Okay, T hold is equal to that charge. Okay, delta charge. So by I leakage. So this is the minimum time that the capacitance hold the data. Okay. So that minimum time depends upon this. So we have to change our clock frequency. Okay. So for this minimum time, suppose we actually need in microsecond or millisecond. So if it is less than that, then we have to increase that period or increase the frequency. Okay. So now, based on this, we have to solve an example. So from this example, it will be more clear. Okay. So here, one thing I'll do directly, I'm sharing that book, then we'll solve from there. Okay, so this is the problem. So problem is, so consider soft node structure shown below, which consists of drain or source depending on current direction. Pass transistor connected to the polysilicon gate and NMOS driver transistor via metal interconnect. Okay, so this is the pass transistor and this is the driver transistor and this is the soft node. So now clock, this is the clock signal. So the layout of this whole things is this pass transistor, then driver transistor, everything is there. And you know this node. Okay, so both poly and metal are there. Okay, so this part, okay, this transistor is this transistor. Okay, this is your poly and diffusion. So again, this is another transistor M1. Okay, this part is poly and this is metal. Okay, so metal to poly contact is here. Okay, so and dimension of all these things is given. Okay, this is 6, all unit dimensions are given. 1, 6, 3, all these dimensions are given. So based on this, we have to calculate the capacitance and we have to calculate the timings. Okay, so are you getting this diagram? It's already you have done some layout.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is the transistor, this is the poly. Okay. And this is the metal, this is poly again, this is another transistor. And all the dimensions are given. So now the problem statements are given. So you can see here. So VT it's a 5 volt, means 500 nanometer technology, whatever the. So VDD supply voltage is 5 volt. Okay. And you can see threshold voltage is VT0. It's not VT, it's VT0 is 0.8, and it's gamma, that body effect, means that body parameter is 0.4. Okay. And 2.5, okay, 0.6. So to calculate that VT, this is required. Okay, for that it's given that values. Next, all the capacitance information are given. COX is 0.065 femtofarad per micrometer square. Metal 0.036 femtofarad per micrometer square. Poly also given, and C0, that junction capacitance is given, C0 per micrometer square, and also sidewall capacitance. Okay, everything is given. Based on that, you have to calculate all the capacitance, and finally you have to calculate the timing. So now you know that CGB that reverse bias junction capacitance. Okay, CGB is equal to CX into W into, no, this is not reverse bias capacitance, that C in. Okay, next is capacitance. CX into W L mass. L mass means L of the transistor. Okay, so finally you can see it's 4 micro, W is equal to 4 micro, and L is equal to 2 micro. You can see here for this transistor, W is equal to 4 and L is equal to 2. Okay, this is the W, and this is L. Okay, so that's why W into L is equal to 8. Okay, 8 micrometer square. So finally CGB will calculate 0.52 femtofarad. Again C metal. Okay, C metal you can see it is given 0.036 femtofarad per micrometer square into, what is the dimension of that metal? Okay, so metal 5 into 5. So here you can see this is 5, then this is 5. Okay, this part is metal only. So 5, this is 5, this is 5, vertical and horizontal. So it's 25 micrometer square. Okay, you can calculate C metal. Again C poly. Okay, C poly you can see this C poly here, this C poly. Okay, so you can see two things are there. So one is here 6 into 6. So you can see 2 plus 2 plus 2, total 6, length and width 6 into 6. Okay, that is 36. And another is here C poly. This is how much? This part and this part. Okay, it's 4 into, yeah, 4 into 2. Okay, this is 2 and this is 3, this is 1. Okay, total 4 into 2. Okay, that is substrate capacitance, means poly to substrate. This part is 3 and this part is 1. Are you getting this point? So this is 3 and this is 1. It's 4 into 2, total 8. Okay, so now you calculated CGB, C metal and C. Okay, now CDB, that reverse bias capacitance. So again it has two components. One is bottom plate capacitance, one is sidewall capacitance. Already discussed what is bottom plate and what is sidewall capacitance. Okay, so bottom plate again CJ0 into area. Okay, area you can see for this transistor. Okay, so this is the diffusion area. Okay, so see directly this part means this is the drain. So bottom means this is 6, again this is 6, so that is will be 36. Again this is 3 and this is 4, 12. Okay, so you can see this 36 micrometer square plus 12 micrometer square. This is the area of that but means the diffusion. Okay, so into that's Cj0. So plus then side wall capacitor nothing but that perimeter. Okay, so you can see so all the area in the micrometer square, but in the side wall capacitor is only the micrometer. It's the perimeter. So this side 6 plus 6 plus 6, this is 18 plus 1 plus 1, 20, again plus 3, 23 plus 4. Okay, 27 plus 3, 30. So you can see here 30 micrometer into 0.2. So finally you will get the capacitance CdV maximum is equal to 10.56. So in this way you can calculate 4 capacitances: CGB, C metal, C poly, and CDB. Okay, the reverse wise. So finally, yeah, this CJ also depends upon this V max also. So that's why you have to calculate that V max. So V max formula means that is V max is nothing but your V max is nothing but VDD minus VTN. Okay, so this VTN again, you know, VTN is equal to what is VT0 plus that gamma na gamma, yeah. So VSB plus whatever the value. Okay, so 25, that is 25 plus VSB. So minus 25. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the formula. So now if you put these things, because this is minus, so everywhere will be minus. So this is the VDD. Then you know VT0. This part is VT0 0.8. Then this is gamma. So and this 25F. Okay. This is Vmax. So in this way you have to calculate the Vmax. Okay. It's 3.68 volt. Okay. So okay, Vmax. Now CDB minimum. So because for T hold minimum, so you have to calculate CDB minimum. Yes or no? The minimum hold time. To calculate minimum hold time, so you have to calculate the minimum capacitance. Yes or no? Minimum reverse capacitance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for that you have to calculate in this way. So you have to put Vmax here. Okay. So I said that Cj part is nothing but Cj by 1 plus this reverse bias voltage divided by your built-in potential. Okay, that is Kt by Q ln Na Nd by Ni square. Okay, this part. So finally, in this way, finally you have to calculate, that is 4.71 femtofarad. Okay, here you have calculated. Yeah, so see here the maximum capacitance you have calculated. This is 10.56 femto. Yes or no? But here you can see the minimum capacitances. So minimum capacitances. The minimum capacitance is CDB. CDB minimum is 4.71 femtofarad. Okay. So now you can see the CX minimum. Okay. Your CX minimum is now, you can replace this value. Okay, 4.71 here. Okay, finally 8.55. Initially it was okay. So if you add all these things, so you can calculate. So the 1.4 is 3.8, around 13.14, around 14. But here you can see it is okay. So here the minimum capacitance is 8.55. Okay. So now your critical charge difference. Okay, for that time your whole time you can calculate. So the charge difference is nothing but the V maximum minus VTD by 2 into CX minimum. So this is your 10.09 femtocoulomb, your charge. Okay, so from that you can calculate the whole time. Okay, so I leakage. So your whole time is nothing but is here T hold. Okay, del Q critical by I leakage maximum. Okay. So once you got this value, and if you know the I leakage, then you can calculate the fold time. Okay. So here assuming that the logic, so I leakage is I threshold plus I reverse. So this is given, I think. So chapter, if you calculate the subthreshold, again the subthreshold current, you can calculate, some formulas are there, means from device that mathematics you can calculate subthreshold plus I reverse you can calculate. That is because all this information are there, so you can calculate that I reverse. So finally you can calculate the I leakage. I leakage is nothing but 0.85 picoampere. So this part you are understanding or not? How to calculate I subthreshold and leakage, I reverse. I reverse calculation is straightforward. If you will go to that means PN junction reverse bias current, okay, so that is called I saturation, reverse saturation current. Okay, so from that you can calculate that I reverse. Okay, and plus there is some formula. Okay, I subthreshold calculation. Okay, so from that you can calculate this is value is 0.85. So in this way, finally you will get 11.87 millisecond. That means if you means charge that node, so after 11.87 millisecond, that charge will capacitor node will discharge to VDD by 2. Okay, so after that your functionality will be means is incorrect. Okay, so up to that value, if the clock frequency is this amount or more than that, then okay. Otherwise, you have to increase that clock period, or you can decrease that frequency. Are you getting this point? Means up to 11.87 millisecond, that capacitor will store that charge. Okay, means store means you can get the correct functionality. So after that, the output will be changed. Okay, so clear this thing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so it's already 11:27. I think I'll started a voltage bootstrapping, but it will not complete. So if you have any doubt in this thing, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll stop because it will take another half an hour or more than that. Or we'll start that thing because yes.
In that equation, to find the Vmax, that one in the VTN we have to find, it's yes, sir, this one.
This one
0.6 plus Vmax. Yes, sir, this equation. There should be VSB there, no?
VSB, yes, VSB. VSB means that your source is here Vmax, na? Here this voltage. Here source,
Yes,
this
got
volt,
it.
yeah, this is source, and substrate is ground. Okay, so that's why for that VT, your VSB is equal to Vmax minus V bulk. So V bulk is 0. So that's why it's Vmax. Okay, that means 2πf plus VSB. This is not 2πf. So this is VSB is nothing but Vmax. This point voltage.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So everyone clear this diagram? From this diagram, how to calculate the capacitance?
Yes, sir.
So okay. So okay. So what we'll do means we'll start that bootstrapping, or we'll start next class, because it will take us some time. Some important things are there to understand.
So next class.
Next class.
Okay, so then I'll stop here. So in the next class, we'll discuss that. I think next class we'll do that, not a problem. Next week, is it possible if we'll do some more classes? Like I can take 2 days, I mean 2 classes Monday, 2 classes in Tuesday, and 1 classes in Wednesday. It's 5 class. Plus, if it is possible, then Thursday, Friday, I'll take 2 classes. Is it possible? Hello.